The Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast.
My arms are too long.
Real Doctor Who fans.
My arms are too long.
With real Doctor Who opinions.
Hello and welcome to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast, episode number... Wait. Just 1 second. My arm's too long.
It's not point... It's not 0.305 millimeters too long, is it?
No,
maybe. Or maybe your arm is too long.
And the jaw.
And the jaw. I can't get the jaw right. Oh, my word. Okay, I am Brett. I am one of the hosts for the Dr. Lumber Podcast. Joining me, who may or may not have longer arms or jaws or melting into the floor, are my other host, the co-host in crime. Across the pond, we have...
Liam, hello.
Legion, hello. Now, funny story. I do have a little finger that is longer than the little finger on my other hand. But
do they call you
little
off. Finger?
No. Well, oh.
Wrong show.
I mean, that's kind of interesting because one of my, the toe right next to my big toe, one of them is smaller than one of my big toes, and the other one is longer than the other one. So, kind of interesting.
Mutant.
Yep, I did.
Yeah. I literally, genuinely, I cut my finger off twice in 1 week. That's why it's shorter.
Ooh.
What do you need to cut your finger
I was
off?
2, I don't remember it.
Well, that's good. I mean, because that could be some traumatic memories right there.
I was going to say,
so.
surely isn't that like some kind of like, isn't that some psychological sort of thing? Oh, I'll cut my finger off. You've got some serious issues going on there, mate. Just saying.
Yeah, it was the 90s. It was a different time.
Exactly. Yeah. The 90s. I miss that decade
Possibly
so much.
more progressive, possibly more open than we are today. Who knows? I don't know.
Who knows? Who'd judge?
Yep. All
Everyone these
right.
days.
Well, starting us off, this is the definitive review of the second Doctor Who 60th special, Wild Blue Yonder. And I will tell you, just going into it, because you guys get it before I do, I was carousing around on the Doctor Who Facebook page, and there's so many different things that were coming up, but I did share with you guys, and we talked about it briefly off air, but one of the things that came up was the poor audio quality, which I found interesting because I was really intrigued to find out what you guys thought because, again, Liam does not like Doom Coalition and also Antidote to Oblivion because not the story is not good, just the audio mastering is not good. So I was kind of curious to find out your thoughts revolving around the audio mastering.
So for me, I had to watch this twice. I watched it first of all with Olivia and she got scared. So had to turn it off. And then when I got home, I watched it on my own. Now, when I watched it with Olivia, I watched it live with the standard audio channel when I was watching it with Olivia. So no audio description. And it was very music heavy in the mix. I mean, it was really good music. It was Murray Gold, so it's really good music. It wasn't just, the same tune over and over again. But it was the vocals were very low in the mix. You had to listen very carefully to hear what they were saying. But I didn't have that issue when I watched it with the audio description track on. Because the audio description bounces it down.
Was it me or was the ident cut off at the start of this week's episode?
Disney Plus has yet to show the ident. So I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Whereas BBC iPlayer, which is where I watched it the second time round, because I was a couple of minutes late because naturally Olivia needed a wee. So I watched it by clicking, play from start on the iPlayer feed for live BBC One. And that didn't have the ident, but on iPlayer when I watched it again with the AD track, it did.
Interesting. Very interesting.
But I swear the ident was cut off. It wasn't as long as it wasn't as long as it usually was.
Yeah.
So,
well,
odd.
if you can remind me, and it would be kind of like a spoiler leak thing that I came across at the very end of the episode we could bring back, because there could be a reason possibly why Disney Plus has not played the ident so far. And it's a conspiracy, but it's also leaked. It's also connected to a rumor/leak for this 60th storyline thing. And so I don't want to go into super spoilers or, pop perhaps rumors or leaks this early on. So we'll just kind of keep that to the very end. But
Okay.
I tell you what, though, there is a bit throughout the entire story that I picked up on that I'm really wondering if you guys have. If it isn't mentioned, I will mention it at the end.
Interesting. Okay. I will, be interested. I only watched it once and then quickly just, went back and clipped the necessary clips for the audio for our review.
Yes.
So, what was it? I don't want to get into that because I did watch last week's episode again because Liam reminded me to possibly. I was focused on just the Doctor and Donna.
I was gonna say, did you actually pay attention this week?
Oh yeah, and because it's really easy because it's just the Doctor and Donna. So I mean, not that hard.
The amount of people.
Oh man,
people that have gone. Oh, but we were told Peter Capaldi and Matt Smith were going to be in it. No, you weren't. That was just a rumor.
But paid attention this week. Rewatched last week, and I will tell you, I think my review has changed from where it was last week. So, because I did pay attention. So that's a tease for when Legion gives us his thoughts and reviews for the Starbeast at the very end of this podcast.
Yes.
So, focusing though on the Wild Blue Yonder, I'm all right. I hate the beginning. I absolutely hated the beginning. We have Sir Isaac Newton, famous Apple moment.
Well,
Donna basically forcing this stupid gravity pun on Isaac Newton, which I know. I haven't talked to you at all about this, Legion. I absolutely know you thoroughly giggled at the Donna gravity pun.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
No. And also, this brings up a topic as well that I want to talk about. Colorblind casting actors. Now, I didn't know this was actually called. That's what it's called. But if it was the other way around, and it was meant to be played by a person of color, or an Asian actor or whatever, and it was done by a white person, that would be considered racist, not thoughtful, and just poorly cast. So my question is, why is it okay to do the reverse? Isaac Newton, to my knowledge, was not black.
Yeah, I saw that.
So,
and yeah,
like, don't again call me racist if you want, but like, why is it okay? All right, Nathaniel Curtis is probably a really good actor. I mean, granted.
My God, that's him from Misfits, isn't it?
No, that's Nathan Stewart Jarrett.
Oh.
Nathaniel Curtis, I'm sure, is a really good actor, but I mean, 2 minutes, doesn't really showcase that much. So why is it okay to colorblind cast actors?
So, I mean, let me, because you bring up a really excellent question. And this is something that has been teased around online on the internet for a while. How would the African community appreciate Ryan Gosling be cast as Black Panther?
I'm sure they wouldn't have anything wrong with it because he's a very attractive man.
He is a very attractive man.
He is certainly one of my favorite Kens.
I need to watch that show. But
it's such a good film.
It's just one of those. It's weird. You bring up a really interesting point, Liam. You can do it one way, but you can't do it the other way. And if you bring up
where's-
a reference
Where's
to
the
it,
equality?
yeah,
Where's,
exactly.
Like I think the problem is we are, like I said to, was it in the group or was it to you, Leach? Someone
Nope,
anyway.
not in the group.
Can't remember.
Wasn't me.
No, it was Damon I was talking to
Have you
about
been
it.
cheating on me with Rob again?
No. I think it was. I think we're our own worst enemy at this point because. Shut up.
That was a good
think
line.
that's
That was a
tickled Brett.
good line.
That's what Lindsay
I like the
Lohan
guy.
said. That's what Lindsay Lohan
I like
said.
the guy, but he's
I
not
know.
as cuddly and squeezable as me.
Yeah, I don't know how tall he is. Ask him. He might
He
be.
doesn't hold you right.
Anyway, well, what can I say? You know, you provide cookies and hot chocolate, so win-win. Anyway, back to the point. What was I saying? Oh, you bastard!
Legion's not as cuddly, or Legion's more cuddly than Robert.
Yeah,
so.
skip that. No, it's the actual point.
Let's see.
You bunch of assholes.
Hey, let
The
me see if I
actual
can
point.
help you. Let me see if I can help you.
Alien body parts. Yes, please. Nope. Still wrong. Isn't karma a bitch, Leach?
Yeah. I'm okay. It's all right, guys.
This is going into the best of, you can tell.
Oh yeah. I'm luckily I'm only like one half of the way through all those cuts. So yeah, it's definitely going in.
Oh, dear. Right. The point was, colorblind. Yeah, I think the problem is we're our own worst enemy, and we're at a point still with Hollywood where people want authenticity, and they want the correct actors playing the roles. But I really don't think we're at that point yet, because I could wax lyrical about the fact that there's hardly any disabled actors in Hollywood, hardly any disabled actors in TV in general, in the media landscape. But it's okay to almost give awards out to those actors who haven't been given a chance, i.e. people of color or whatever, because they're now being given roles in the spotlight.
So
But it's what do you do?
I very much get your colorblind casting question. And in this context, I have absolutely no issue with it.
Mm.
There is a reason I have no issue with it, and we'll come back to that at the end.
Ooh, nice
Okay.
tease. Way to go. That is, yeah. All right. So stay tuned for Legion's thought at the very end of the episode. But yeah, I didn't
What are your
care.
thoughts, Brett?
Part of this is, and I've been thinking about whether I wanted to say this now or wait till we got to the very end with Legion with the Starbeast, because here's the interesting thing. I went down a rabbit hole on Facebook, not Twitter, on Facebook, and it's so interesting regarding everything, regarding the Starbeast. And I like your thoughts regarding this, but I also want to bring it back to the actress that played Rose Noble, because there's two arguments constantly going on, and I think it's connected to what you're talking about too, and that is and I find both sides tiresome. It is, I'm tired of pronoun talk, and then the other side screaming, why are you offended by pronoun talk? Neither side hears legitimately what the other side is talking about. And that is actually the issue right here. You can also kind of tie it to this casting of Isaac Newton. You could say, well, why do you have a problem with it? Well, why do you not have you shouldn't have a problem with it. Both sides are going to be screaming at each other. There's going to be good discussion had, but there's the discussion, and that's the hard part about the whole thing, is there's going to be a lot of, and if you kind of check out on Facebook, there's a lot of an ingenuine discussion where nobody wants to actually hear the other side. It is just berating the side that I disagree with.
The other side for not agreeing with them.
Correct. And I think that's where
It's like getting in a discussion with a vegan.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, is like, okay, I've got no problem with people being trans, or say if I had kids and whatever, and you know, they were trans, but partially, right, that comes surely down to parenting as well, also, right? Like to a degree, in that sense. Not saying everything comes down to how people parent their kids, but the parenting must have some level of input into people's thought processes at that age, people's thoughts in general, feelings in general, whether they're able to open up to parents or not.
Yeah. Abuse,
you know what I mean?
lack of abuse.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is a really, I suppose, involved and difficult issue. I mean, I don't have any family members or anything or whatever who are kind of in that position, but so I can't really talk about it. But I don't know. It's tricky.
It's one of those. Well, and here's what I want to actually just kind of focus on, and I think both what I brought up regarding the actress who's Rose Noble, as well as what you're doing. And I kind of had this set up for near the very end, and I looked up the definition of escapism. And I think that's where we really start to have issues with casting, with, pronouns, no pronouns, whatever. And the definition of escapism is the tendency to seek distractions and relief from unpleasant realities, especially by seeking entertainment or engaging in fantasy. And the problem with this is, again, we now live in a 24-hour news cycle. We are constantly, have things forced upon us that we kind of don't want. And all we want to do is tune into a show, watch Doctor Who, and just escape, to be distracted from, the reality, to just go into a different world. But when the world that we're surrounded by bleeds in, I think that's where a lot of issues start to come into.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, my question is, why did they cast Isaac Newton in that role? Like, was there any legitimate reason for that?
Well,
and
I will say, it was distracting. It was not as distracting as having a series based around Anne Boleyn, where Anne Boleyn was black. Like, that's distracting right there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the BBC.
Oh, yeah, the Anne Boleyn series from a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, anyway, we could get sidetracked into this. I'm just going to ask Legion one last time, does he have any thoughts on this, or are you still waiting for this for the very end?
I'm waiting for the very end.
All right, sounds good. All right, so again, back to the story. We have Sir Isaac Newton's famous apple moment, Donna forcing a gravity pun, which this is so light. And then post-opening credit scene, we go from this very, there's no problem here, nothing whatsoever, to a very dread, fear, terror spewing from the TARDIS that we kind of haven't seen in a while situation. I didn't like it. The maybe if you're watching this in like an omnibus format from, the Starbeast going into here, they take out the opening credit scene and whatnot, and you go from, kind of a lighter Starbeasting to here, it might make sense. But just the tonality from pre-credit scene to post-opening credit scene, I did not care for that. I don't know. Am I on an island all by myself with this?
It was very much a juxtaposition.
I mean, I didn't have any issues with it because I mean, hey,
No,
it's a time machine. You can go from one situation to another, literally in the blink of an eye. So one moment you could be perfectly fine, and then the next not. So
there are ramifications from the pre-credits sequence that I think are going to come back.
Oh yeah,
I hope
I
so.
mean Mavity of the situation. I mean, yeah, I mean it's going to come back, but I just didn't like the carefree nature to the sudden darkness, horror. Oh my word, what just happened? Like I feel as though oftentimes that would be like, I don't know. I can't think of anything comparable to it, but it just like, sorry. So let's think about the opening pre-credit scene to Blink. Like it is, focused on these statues, this whole horror thing set up, and it would be almost like, somebody is just skipping through the garden or whatever. Oh, look, I found a key or something like that. And then just kind of like, wisecrack here, open credit scene. Then we fast forward to the next scene where we see these statues in this high tense situation. It just doesn't transition well. It should have set more things up. You are right that the gravity of the situation or mavity of the situation, will come back eventually. But that should have been, they should have done that at the very end of the Starbeast. I feel as though that's where that should have been contained. I think something darker should have been contained at the very beginning of this situation. We could have been teased at what's going on in this ship. I mean, granted, it was a mystery, but they could have teased something. They could have teased the slow-moving robot. They could have teased something before we got there. And I just, didn't care for it. One thing I do like is the Doctor using his brand new sonic screwdriver to initiate the TARDIS's mending of itself. And I like that, this forced the Doctor and Donna to leave behind 2 get out of jail free cards. First off, the TARDIS left. Second, the Doctor now no longer has a sonic screwdriver that can generate force fields. So I like that, this has basically taken, it stranded the Doctor with only his ingenuity and anything, that he can bring and Donna can bring to the situation. And I find that great because, again, we'll get to your thoughts on the new sonic screwdriver maybe later, or maybe you want to jump in right here. But at least it took those things out of play and made things harder for everybody.
So I was talking to Olivia about this, and when she started, before we cut, we got about halfway through the episode before she got too scared.
Mm-hmm.
But the TARDIS landed. She was like, "How did it get to this from that?" She's very similar comment to you, actually. And then she was like, "I think the TARDIS is going to go missing." And I was like, "Well, the only reason that will be is if the HADs kick in." And she was like, "What's the HADs?" And I was like, "Oh, it's the hostile action displacement system." And she was like, "Daddy, you're such a geek." And then the TARDIS disappeared. And she was like, "Daddy, you're such a geek, but you were right." I was like, "I know." And she was like, "What are they going to do now, though? How's Donna going to get back to her family?" I was like, "I don't know. We'll have to watch it and find out." And it really, I think this story is very much RTD writing, because in his first era, he was very much slated for using the Sonic as a get out of jail card. And in this, he basically went, "Okay, guys, this is what I can do, and we don't need the Sonic."
Yeah.
All right. Here is our first clip.
Yours and get it back! Oh, don't you look at me like that. It's your fault. I said, let's stay here, but you had to wander off.
You wandered with me.
Oh, like I could stop you!
You spilled the coffee. No.
Oh my God, where are we? Rose is waiting.
I will get you home.
How?
There is one. Oh. A mechanism on board the TARDIS called the HADS. Hostile Action Displacement System. If the TARDIS is in danger, it goes away.
Goes where?
Anyway, and it only comes back once the danger is gone. I turned it off years ago, man. Never went anywhere. Once been 3 years in orbit, I thought, turn off the HADS. But if the TARDIS is rebuilding itself, maybe click back on.
But that means we've landed in the middle of hostile action.
Yeah.
There's something on this ship that's so bad the TARDIS ran away.
Yes.
Then we go and kick its ass!
So I absolutely love that. Like, this is why I was distracted all during the first episode of the Starbeast. This is what I wanted. I wanted this back and forth. I wanted this relationship. Again, I will say, and I still stand by the whole thing, I do think that it kind of, takes the emotion of loss out from series 4. But again, these are my favorite Doctor Who stories from Big Finish. It is Ten and Donna. I love Tennant and Tate. This is fantastic. This is what I want. This is the interaction that I believe, again, one of the other reasons why it had to be these two to be the 14th Doctor and companion to, transition to Ncuti's 15th Doctor. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that clip? And yeah.
It's nice. It's like we're stepping back to 2008 when they were, the 10th Doctor and companion.
Mm-hmm.
The banter that we get between them, I hate that word, and I can't believe I've just used it, is just magical. It's like she's not afraid to put him in his place, which I like. You may be an alien from outer space who's done this, that, and t'other and knows everything, but quite frankly, I don't care.
And there are differences between the 10th Doctor and 14th, isn't there? If you can...
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't have, even raised the whole issue with the coffee machine, I think, if he was 10. I think in some ways he's a bit more quick-tempered.
Yes.
But more emotional, which is nice. Compared to the dead-eyed psychopath that was 13. It's great.
We'll kill them all. Hey, Yorkshire.
Oops, I accidentally stepped on a cockroach. What? You just murdered that cockroach. How dare you?
But yeah.
Didn't you just stand on a whole nest of ants? Ants are completely different to cockroaches.
Yeah, why? Ants are evil little shit. Deserve death at every opportunity. But anyway.
Just like humans.
Yeah. Ooh, universe? What universe? Whoops. Oh, well.
Oh, man.
Somebody poured gin into the time rotor, and nobody's meant to do that. Irish Wild Time quote for you there.
Oh, okay.
Love Irish Wild Time. So funny. And Panda. Anyway. But no, I love the fact that he's actually emotional, and he actually, well, again, he's actually showing remorse for his actions from the Flux later on, which was nice to see.
Yeah. Well,
like, for all the Flux crap, I mean, yes, it's nice to see, like, him showing emotion, but all right, fine, you're guilty. But show us consequences. What's happened? Nothing's happened. Earth is, again, fine.
Well, yeah.
But half the universe has just gone poof. Okay. Where, how, when, why, aliens.
Could we discuss the Flux when that clip surfaces because I think
Yeah,
there is
okay.
some stuff to unpack and also question RTD with at the same time. So
Yeah. Sure.
okay. Here is so one of my favorite things that did, and the next clip that I'm about to play did, is like for a while we are, the Doctor and Donna are being watched by something just off to the side in the wall. We don't know what it is. And then this clip right here kind of gives us more of a setup, which I really appreciate.
But if we're in space, there's no stars. Where are the stars?
You could be inside a dust cloud, or a gravity well, or...
What?
No, it's fine. The ship is lost. It fell through a wormhole.
Ending up where?
Oh, I'm sorry, Noah. The TARDIS was out of control. It's taken us to the edge of the universe.
So what's out there?
Well, that's difficult for you, because if the universe is everything, then the concept of an everything having an edge is kind of impossible. But that's the language of 21st century Earth, and you don't know anything yet. Not being rude, you just don't. When you discover Camboodian flat mathematics, you'll discover it's possible.
What?
That. Nothing. At the edge of creation. Absolute nothingness.
But starlight travels. You can stand in my garden and look at the light from stars 1 billion miles away. So where's the light?
Over there. Just hasn't reached us yet. If we flew in that direction, it would take 100 trillion years to reach your house.
How's my family? Over there.
I've never been this far out. Just stand here like this. Physically unprotected. Right on the edge. No one ever has. Not ever. Till us. And this ship.
It's an airlock door that opened 3 years ago. And closed.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love that. We are where he's never been before. We are at the edge of the solar system. He's getting ready to set up the flux. I believe the flux clip is in the next clip. One of my favorite things is it's so atmospheric within this ship. They kind of do for the most part, a survivors type of a situation where there is so much less incidental music and just background noise, a hum to a spaceship. And I believe that kind of adds to the possibly, your daughter being that scared. Is the story was scary, but the lack of incidental music and the
Yes.
like that bang that I just barely cut up on. I don't know. What are your thoughts about this so far?
It's super atmospheric. And
Very
it's-
atmospheric,
It's
yeah.
nice to have a horror.
And it's nice to sort of see
And-
Tennant kind of on the back foot,
Well, I mean, you could also say it's nice to have the Doctor on the back foot because I don't think Jodie really ever was on the back foot for the most part.
Oh no, she was. She just was surprised all the time and just looked shocked, but didn't really talk about it.
Did anybody notice what they were stuck in?
They were stuck in a long corridor ship that
No. No, sorry. Not them physically, but the ship was stuck in.
I don't know, a nothing.
A void?
How did they get in the nothing? He does mention it.
Well, wasn't the ship just set sail to slowly go forward?
They were caught in a particular word well.
Oh,
Wormhole? Gravity well.
Mavity well.
Mavity well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, I'm getting to it now.
Okay.
This is repeated through the story up to a point where even the Doctor says gravity. Oh no, sorry, I meant mavity.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why there's clearly something going on here.
Yeah.
You know, it's why I have no issue with Isaac Newton being a chap of colour.
Oh, you know what? That checks. Because I will say this, what you're saying could go into the rumor / leak for the story miniseries that I heard, that at least if I'm drawing conclusions right, could bother me. But yeah, we'll save that for later. So let's see. So I'm gonna skip this one clip that I had. How did it play out for audio describe? Because they did at first, it almost seemed like a time cutaway from the Doctor talking to Donna, Donna talking to the Doctor, and then you realize it's not a time cutaway. And I feel as though that was beautifully cut because it was super deceptive. Like, how was that done audio described wise?
It literally went, Doctor walks into the room and starts talking to Donna. And it goes to the Doctor, and the Donna walks into the room and starts talking to the Doctor.
Yeah.
And it goes back and forth, and it's like Donna is talking to the other Doctor, or the Doctor is talking to the other Donna.
Oh, did it specifically say the other Doctor?
Yeah.
Oh, so you kind of were like on the know before, like, because I thought it was like split time, you know, like they'd been there for a while.
I thought it was split time first time I watched it.
Yeah. Well, because one of the things that it was kind of the first hint. Well, I mean, the first hint was my arm's too long. And then the second hint that things were off was, oh, we get hungry. And it was just like, wait, why did you say we get hungry? Like, that's right, we get hungry. Haven't you been here for a while? You went back and forth to where the Doctor's doing this, Donna's doing this, and they're kind of both doing their own thing, talking to the other one. So it's like, are we doing a whole Matt Smith thing, forgetting how to shake people's hands? Like, which totally annoyed me about that episode, but whatever. It's just, it was really fun to have these gigantic handed Doctor and Donna that, like, I don't know, it was horrifying, absolutely horrifying, seeing these distorted bodies of, you know, the Doctor who, you know, we love and, you know, hold dear to, and Donna also, and trying to make sense of everything. I think it was done so beautifully, and I just love the horror, like you said, the horror element. I don't think we've really had, I mean, I will say the whole found footage 12th Doctor sand creature was kind of horror, but I want to say the last time we really done horror in Doctor Who, and I think would be the Waters of Mars. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think I'd agree. Because we didn't really have horror during the Stephen Moffat era, apart from Sleep No More.
Oh.
No, not really.
The Stephen Moffat era, I find, was very much fairy tale, whereas the RTD era always was, well, more I think it's amazing how everyone are like, oh yeah, RTD did this, and this, and RTD was actually only showrunner even for 5 years, not including pre-production.
Mm-hmm.
And Stephen Moffat was showrunner from 2009 technically until 2017.
Why
But
9?
Because that's when Matt Smith started filming his first series in May 2009.
Okay. I wish though that they'd gone into a bit more, when they started talking about like psychological torture and whatever, and they're a bit kind of, that they've, or Don talks about suffering and things. I wish they'd gone more into that though.
Mm-hmm.
Said more, but I guess they can't because the whole family show thing. But it would have been nice if they'd pushed that a bit more.
Yeah.
Not obviously shown stuff, but just mentioned and implied things like that a bit more.
So, this next clip, I believe, is when we start talking about the flux and whatnot. And I'm going to add something because I was actually, there's a couple things that I was tipped off to regarding this episode since you guys got it first before it was available on Disney Plus. And obviously that was, the sound mastering or whatever, as well as I kept on seeing one thing and, unpopular opinion, but I kept on seeing that this was being compared to Midnight. And I hate Midnight. I hate that episode so much. And I was actually dreading watching this because I can't take another Midnight. And you know what? In my personal opinion, it is not Midnight whatsoever. It's actually my favorite horror movie of all time with the paranoia. And that is John Carpenter's The Thing. Oh my
God.
word.
That is more. Yeah, The Thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it is that is one of the best horror movies of all time. And this clip right here will discuss the paranoia regarding everything, and we'll also bring in the flux. And then I think this is where we need to talk about, RTD, Chibnall, whatnot, flux, and that. So here is this clip.
You're just making all this up.
I always do.
All right. Where was I born?
You were born in Chiswick.
Well, no, because, strange little fact, I was born in Southampton.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know that because I never did. And if I didn't know that, then that means I'm real.
So where are you from?
No, but we've done that. We talked about that. Back there, out loud. All 4 of us know it's Gallifrey.
Except it's not.
What do you mean?
You don't know where you're from.
How do you know that? How does anyone know? How does Donna know?
Back on Earth, when I was the Dr. Donna, I saw your mind. I've had 15 years without you, and I saw everything that's happened to you since, and oh my God, it hurt.
You're saying this to break me down?
We haven't stopped to talk. We haven't had a chance. It's always like that with you, running from one thing to the next. I saw it in your head. The flux.
It destroyed half the universe because of me. We stand here now on the edge of creation, a creation which I devastated. So yes, I keep running, of course I do. How am I supposed to look back on that?
It wasn't your fault.
I know!
I'm sorry.
Donna, is that you?
Yeah.
All those years, I missed you.
I just couldn't keep it together. You are so amazing. We stare at that universe so far away. But you have owned it. You are such a prize. What are you? I was born in Southampton because my mum and dad were there for the weekend visiting my auntie Iris. My mother was 9 months pregnant, but would Iris come to her? No, she would not. So I arrived in Southampton, which allowed my mother to say I was a problem from the day I was born. And I've not come to the edge of the universe to discover I'm still dealing with that. So yes, you can copy my memory, but there's only one person who can understand my family like that, and that is me. I'm definitely Donna. Where's your tie?
What?
Your tie, where's it gone?
I took it off.
Oh no. It was there, on the floor. So where is it?
Oh, I see. When something is gone, it keeps existing. Auntie Iris, Mummy and Daddy.
Okay. That was like, oh.
That was chilling.
Oh. Yeah, the instant. So as I'm watching this, I am just absolutely dreading that this is going to be midnight. And in that moment, I was like, no, this is the thing, and this is awesome. Because, the best part about the thing is never knowing who to trust and who not to trust. And these are the two, best friends, and it could have only worked with these two. If it was Rose, there would have been, like a love triangle type of a situation. If it was Martha, it would be, sad that she was discarded for Rose. It had to be these two. It had to be this friendship because of the paranoia and untrusting regarding everything.
I just listening to that through headphones. It's just,
oh, yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, and oh man, when David Tennant, or the thing that was the 10th Doctor, 14th Doctor, contorted his body the way it did in such an unnatural fashion. Wow. Like that, if Livia was not watching at that point in time, she probably shouldn't have been. What would have pushed her over the edge right there.
Yeah, I think it would.
So we brought up, the story elements brought up the flux and with everything. So now let's bring this whole thing up because, again, RTD said he is not going to, retcon the whole thing. Obviously, within that, he did not. So what are our thoughts regarding not retconning the flux, not retconning the, timeless child, and also with the, like you said, Liam, earlier, the universe is still in shambles, is in a wreck. And, history is still messed up. Centaurans are still, fighting the English in the 1800s. Like, things are still not right.
Gravity is now called mavity.
Exactly. So, I think there's a lot to unpack there. And I don't know if you want to continue on, Liam, or if Legion wants to jump in, but there's a lot there.
Yeah, there is. I mean, it's a tough one because I think all of this and all of the stuff that is going on, with the changed Isaac Newton and stuff, I think has obviously got links with the toy maker. Mm-hmm. That's also perhaps how he's now free because of the flux, and so it's all Chibnall's fault. So I don't know, good and bad. I mean, yes, interesting that this is brought up, and that because, like I say, the 13th Doctor's era and the 13th Doctor just felt so undoctorish and so just not like the character that we've known for the past 60 years, that it's good that that's being
on the pants of the universe.
Indeed. Yeah, one massive skid mark in that respect.
That's an image.
But so it is good, but where's the evidence? Show us that the universe is fucked. There's still.
I don't think
Earth is sort of still going on. It's very, I mean, yeah, but why not? I mean, give us some reference points. Give us some actual info about that.
I don't think he needs to, because I think we're going to get what we got with Matt Smith, and that's a universal reset. And the reason I think that comes later in the episode, I don't know if you've got a clip for it, but the counting salt scene.
I did not get the counting salt scene. I got the wait, did I get the reference? I can't remember if I clipped the reference. No, I did not clip the reference. So we can talk about the counting salt scene.
There's a scene later on where they're not far away from this, actually, where they're escaping them, and he invokes superstition and belief, and he's basically like, something cannot be real, but real at the same time. So you can believe something is real, and yet also believe that it's not real at the same time. And there are ramifications at the end of that, because he's like, I invoked a superstition at the edge of reality, and if something heard me, it can get out.
Well, I mean, I will disagree with that kind of sort of, because I believe the Celestial Toymaker is already out. So,
yes,
I mean, if something else gets out, it would be for the Shooty, the 15th Doctor, to have to take care of. So the boss, that was mentioned by the meat,
yeah,
is not the
Toymaker?
Celestial Toymaker.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be too neat.
But we've had the first announcement for the Christmas special. And it's the 15th Doctor versus
goblins.
The goblins and the Goblin King, which is superstition.
Oh. Interesting.
So, who do you think is the boss then, Lige? If it's not the Toymaker?
I have absolutely no idea.
Do you know what I would like it to be? I would like this, and I would like the boss to actually be the
boss.
No, I would not. I would like it to be who? No, I would not like it to be Votan either. I would like it to be the alien essence on the Mummy on the Orient Express. I would like that to reemerge as, because I believe
what about the actual Eternal from Can You Hear Me? Because they name dropped the Celestial Toymaker there, and if anyone's going to have as much power and is going to be a threat, it's the Eternals. So,
or the gods of Ragnarok.
Yeah. So it would make sense if they bring them back. So if you bring them in, or I mean, who's to say that the boss isn't going to be the Black Guardian?
See, that would be awesome.
Ooh, who would they get to play the Black Guardian though? Because there's not many people around with such a recognizable voice as Valentine Dial.
Mm-hmm.
No, there isn't.
Mark Gatiss.
No.
Mark Gatiss would pull me out of it, just because he pulled me out of the Lazarus Project. Like, I don't think that would be a wise casting, in my opinion. It could work, but
or they get David Troughton back.
Yeah, I mean. You said Mark Gatiss, and my brain immediately was just like, hey, let's just... Benedict Cumberbatch hasn't been in there. It's like, nope, let's not do that.
No,
Disney.
That is true. Anyway.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, that's right. Can't be Black Panther? I'll be the Black Guardian.
We know he's going to be in it at some point.
Mm-hmm. I would love for him to. They do another, the children or the children in need special or whatever, and instead of regenerating to the Hugh Grant Doctor, it regenerates to the Ryan Gosling Doctor, and he regenerates without a shirt on.
There's an interview Shooty's done, and he's basically said, "Oh, when I was recording Barbie, the only person that knew that I was going to be Doctor Who was Ryan Gosling, and he was like a kid at Christmas."
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. It's very cool. And, they can get the big stars. I mean, look at who they've got in series 114, whatever it is. They've got Jonathan Groff, who is Kristoff from Frozen.
I like that you said they got a big star, and then you named somebody that I'd never heard of before. So
you have no idea who he is.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's because I'm a father.
That's true.
Here is our last clip. We can talk about this. This it concludes everything. We can summarize, to discuss anything that we missed, and then we can move on to your review of the Starbeast and whatnot. So here is this.
So, anyway, I was wondering, she said on the spaceship, that other Donna had your memory. She could remember us as the Dr. Donna. So she could see my life and my mind and my thoughts for the past 15 years. All the time we've been apart, she could remember it. Can you?
No. It's too much. It's like looking into a furnace. But I suppose she had a great big outer space brain. She could make sense of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Why?
Just wondering. Ah, there we are, back home.
You timed that to get out of awkward conversations. Where are they? Where's the family?
Might be a day or two out.
Oh, my goodness, Donna! Oh, my goodness, Donna!
I said so.
Wilfred Mott. Oh, now I feel better. Now nothing is wrong. Nothing in the whole wide world. Hello, me old soldier.
I never thought I'd see you again after all these years. Oh, Doctor, that lovely face. It's like springtime.
And Donna's got her memory back.
Without dying, which I recommend.
Yeah, well, I knew it. I never lost faith. I said, he won't let us down. He'll come back and save us.
Save us from what?
And where's the family? Where's Rose? Are they all right?
Yeah, they're fine. They're safe. I've told them to bunker down. I'll keep watch. I said, you save yourselves.
Why? Is there something wrong? What's going on?
What's happening?
It's everybody. It's everything. They're all going mad. Listen, you've got to do something, Doctor. The whole world's coming to an end.
All right. And
just Wilf showing up sent chills down my spine. And to know that this was the last scene he ever filmed.
No, but is it though? Because
Yes.
they announced it. And then there's also, he did one final interview that will be released on Doctor Who magazine this month, I believe. So that's something to.
so he's
look
not in next
forward
week's
to.
episode then?
No. He was meant to be, and he was unfortunately too well to film it.
That's a shame.
It is. But do you know what? We got the old soldier back. We got Wilfred Mott. And he just, for the 30 seconds he was in it, he stole it.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
He did. His facial expressions, what we saw during Voyage of the Damned, during all the times that we saw him on the screen during the Force series, when we got him at the end of time, like, it was beautiful. And I'd heard some, criticism that they should have, because the actor passed away, to allow Wilf to pass away. And I can see why that you'd want to, but we wouldn't have had that scene. And I do think that scene is worth it.
It's like RTD said as well. They went, look, we contacted him and he said, I'm not well, but I will come back for you. I am retired, but I will come back. And they scheduled him in to do more than this one scene. And he was like, I will do this one. And I think it's his family who stopped him from doing the other ones. But he was well up for it.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell the three of them there.
I hope though that they deal with him not being in next week's episode and the reprieve of that. Well though, that makes sense to the story. Like not seeing him.
They will.
And
they won't piss on his memory.
No. But just something that so it isn't just jarring with him. Oh yeah, Will's coming to an end, and then where's Wilf? Do you know what I mean? Like, that. So I hope they can somehow sort that out so it isn't so blatant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So, final thoughts, any summarization, anything that I missed for any of the clips that I did that we want to talk about, and then we'll get to our rating of the episode.
Well, I think this was I can't say this was worse than last week's episode. It was very much a different beast to last week's episode. I think it very much had a different mavitational pull about it.
Shut up, Legion. It's not. I could say I wouldn't say it's better but you're right. It's different, but
it's nice to have horror. Like it's nice to have a genuinely scary episode of Doctor Who. Scary as in, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. Not scary as in, oh my God, this acting's bad.
Oh, that's one thing. Were you thinking that Donna was going to die in episode 2? Up until the TARDIS came back?
No. I mean...
No.
In fact, I was actually surprised that the Doctor didn't materialize the TARDIS around her and, basically used the platform that she was on as a slide to drop that Donna out of the whole thing. I think that would be so interesting, though, if that Donna survived and the actual Donna died, like that and then leading that into the next season or I was going to say series, season 1. I think that would have been a fun overarching situation, leaving the boss to be dealt with in season 2. I think that could have been interesting, but I was actually fine with either way. Her being kicked out and Donna, the real Donna, actually being saved. I was actually fine with the real Donna dying and that one kind of impersonating her for a while. I think that would have been fun too.
Yeah, it would. But I'm glad that Donna didn't die.
Oh no,
the real Donna.
No,
because we love the real Donna.
Mm-hmm. We do. So yeah, I love that. I will adamantly disagree with you. This episode was by far way better than last week's episode. Like, to me, this is an 8.5. But again, one of my favorite horror movies of all time is The Thing, and I found so many similarities to it, I couldn't not like it. So that's a different thing for me altogether. Whereas I found when I actually watched The Starbeast, I did get annoyed with being pulled out as many times as I was being pulled out of my escapism for some lecturing. And I didn't get that in this episode. I got Doctor Who does the thing, which Yeah, 8.5 for me.
Yeah, that's fair. For me, I have to give it an 8.5 because it was good. It was very good. It was horror, and it was nice. Like I have said, it was nice to have a horror Doctor Who episode again, and a horror Doctor Who that worked and has ramifications, and we don't know what those ramifications are going to be yet.
Yeah, very true.
It's just nice to have Doctor Who back,
Mm-hmm.
but good Doctor Who.
Yeah. Yeah, not something that has Doctor Who as the title.
Quite surprised at the overnight ratings for this episode, though. Only 4.8
I'm not.
million. No?
I'm not. No. Because think about it, right? So it's had a drop of 205,000, right? Compare that to Jodie Whittaker's drop-offs on the overnights.
I'm going to compare that.
It's massive. It's more than 250,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had millions dropping week by week until we got to a point where it was 2.8 million. So, you know, we've not reached double that. Overnight ratings, I don't think are valid anymore.
No.
Yeah.
I think the way people view it's completely different. You know, look at Brett. You're not watching it through terrestrial TV, whether that BBC America or not. You're watching it through a streaming service.
Yes.
Now, I would love to find out what the figures are for it in the first weeks through streaming alone. Because I can guarantee it'll be more than 2.8 million. I can guarantee it'll be more than 5 million. I can guarantee it'll be more than 6 million.
Well, and so to answer your question, so, you know, we started off with The Woman Who Fell to Earth, 10.96 million on overnight.
Which is incredible.
Ghost Monument dropped to 9. Then, you know, Rosa to 8.4. Arachnids, 8.2. The Tessera Conundrum, 7.7. We finally get to Battle of Whatever, 6.5. Then we, you know, next season, we have Spyfall Part 1, 6.89, followed by Part 2, 6.07. We end with The Timeless Child at 4.69. Then when we go into after like the whole thing of the Flux, you know, Halloween Apocalypse, 5.81, it ends Chapter 6, 4.68, which is not like, you know, they lost 1 million. But then the 3 specials, you know, Eve of the Daleks, 4.4, Legend of the Sea Devils, 3.47. Like they only showed up for The Power of the Doctor because I believe it was a regeneration story. And so that got 5.3. Starbeast
is that consolidated or is that overnight?
That's overnight. So
it's still.
Yeah. Starbeast
starts off amazing.
Yeah. Is that actually just 1 second? Let me just double check my is it consolidated? I think it might be. That might be consolidated because Starbeast and Wild Blue Yonder have an asterisk by it, which I would possibly notate as not consolidated.
They're not the finals.
Yeah.
We'll get the 7 days tomorrow, which encompass the people that watched it on BBC One Live and throughout the week on iPlayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Liam, what is your rating of Wild Blue Yonder?
Again, I give it an 8, I think. Same as last week for Starbeast. Again, different beast. I like the emotional beats in it. I want more of that. Yeah, were there flaws in it? Yeah, were there things I would have liked them to expand upon? Sure. But for the most part, I'd say it's a good episode of Doctor Who.
All right. So now we will move to Legion giving his review of the Starbeast.
So hold on to your hats, gentlemen. The Starbeast is the first episode of Doctor Who that I have watched live and been able to enjoy with my daughter. Together. We watched it from start to finish. Now, Olivia is notorious for going for a pee every 20 minutes. She went at the start and she went at the end.
Wow.
And she sat all the way through. I almost cried yesterday because Olivia told her mum what happened in last week's episode, beat for beat. She's a 7-year-old little girl. She doesn't do that. You literally ask her what happened and she goes, I don't know. But yesterday she was like, oh yeah, the doctor came back, and Donna's known the doctor before when he was wearing this face again. The doctor met an alien called, she was like, I think it was called the Mees. No, wait, it was called the Meep. I was like, I'm so proud of you right now. She was like, there were some really nasty looking aliens that were trying to get it, but they turned out to be the good guys. And then their house got blown up. And then, and I was like, Liv, how did they end up taking off in the TARDIS? She was like, oh, well, that's easy. Donna spilt coffee in the console. I was like, I love you so much right now. But, for me, first of all, it was like we'd step back into 2008 Doctor Who again. Like, not a beat had gone. There was a little bit more political correctness, and the binary, non-binary thing is a bit... But whatever. It doesn't harm anyone. It was nice to have my show back. And it was nice to be able to share it with one of my favourite people in the world. It was magical for me. Because it was like going back to being when I was a teenager. For me. And being able to share something that I love with my daughter. And for her to enjoy it and me to enjoy it, that is the whole point of Doctor Who. It is a family show, and it is aimed to keep the kids and the parents entertained. And it did that for 60 bloody minutes. It was pretty much a cut and paste of the Starbeast comic book, which, has already been done by Big Finish. That's fine. I don't care. It was Doctor Who. It was 2008 Doctor Who in 2023. I flipping loved it.
So what would you rate it?
9.5.
Wow. I am glad that you like it, because, after I rewatched it, I got bogged down, again, escapism. I saw something on Facebook that basically cemented why I actually am changing my rating from a 6 to a 5. And it has to do with, Rose and Donna berating the doctor. And, hear me out. Did not,
No, go for it.
Did not appreciate berating the doctor. And this is what really, this is what clicked when I saw this on Facebook. It says, did they just really bring back David Tennant and tell him he's worse than the least popular version of him? And I was like, oh my word, that's what happened.
Yeah, but
Hey,
we
Brett,
all know.
Brett.
DT's there, compare the ratings.
Mm-hmm.
Just let it go, Brett. Let it go.
Yeah, well.
I'm going to finish that off. Brett, be one with the wind and sky.
I don't know what you guys are referencing.
I don't know what Liam's referencing, but I'm referencing Frozen.
I was referencing Frozen as well. Not that I've seen it, but that kind of line is synonymous.
The 5 people you kill in Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
I can do that now. The 5 people you kill in Middlesbrough.
Yeah, but say about the pause in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
The 5 people you kill in Middlesbrough.
Wow, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I like that you've been practicing every night.
I have.
For 2 minutes straight.
You sad bastard.
It's because I know you guys are going to take the
synonymous.
piss out of
There you
me.
go.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to get it right. So it's the 5 people you kill in Middlesbrough.
So let me just throw this back at you, Liam, because what do you want me to let go? All I just said is I didn't appreciate it and I didn't like it. So what do you want me to let go?
That.
I think he was just being glib.
Anyway, don't worry. Yeah, well, maybe. I'll give you glib.
It's such a good word.
Okay, well.
Assholes.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to be letting go, so I guess I will just move on and give the Starbeast a 5, and yeah. So, here's something that I heard. This is a rumor/leak of the conclusion of the Starbeast, which is the Giggle. So I will sound the spoiler alarm, possibly. I don't know how true this is, but judging by a couple of things, and this will also transition us to something else also, which I'm looking forward to hearing your guys' thoughts on. This, to me, possibly could have me done with new series Doctor Who if this occurs. And again, I'm drawing some conclusions, but this is a rumor/leak regarding the storyline. The rumor is that the Celestial Toymaker, on purpose, is the one responsible for regenerating the Doctor into the 10th Doctor, now the 14th Doctor, and bringing Donna back together again because he has been watching them, and these are his favorite characters in Doctor Who. Now kind of saying that this is Doctor Who. Supposedly, also, the story is supposed to end with the Donna telling the Doctor to do what Liam said. And that's why I asked you, what did you mean by that? Because Donna is supposed to be telling the Doctor to let go of the past and move forward. And I think, and this is what kind of worries me about this whole thing, because again, we are now at season 1. I've always said, well, it does make sense for Disney to kind of want season 1 because they're not have access to the previous ones currently. So it does make sense to renumber season 1 or whatever. But if that's what they're doing, if that's where they're going, is forget about the past, let's move forward. This also goes into Davros not in his life support system device. This also goes into the reboot, which could be harder than we expected, which means possibly, again, meeting things for the first time. And again, this is a rumor/leak. I don't know how authentic or true it is, but if that's where we're going down, I'm walking away from New Who.
I think, especially at the moment, all rumors need to be taken with a very, 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 very big grain of salt.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, do you know what I'd do? I would count each of those grains of salt.
Yep.
1, 2. All right,
but
I counted them. Oh.
This is why I'm saying it. I feel a lot of these rumors at the moment are put out there by so-say leakers just to infuriate the fan base.
Yeah, but I mean, I think, and granted, I've heard a couple of other rumors, and I'm like, whatever. But again, just going off of the renumbering situation, going off of Davros no longer being in a wheelchair because, old man Johnson's that lives at the corner of my condo complex who's in a wheelchair. I now have to suspect that he's evil all the time, not because of anything that he does, but because he's in a wheelchair. I feel as though that there is, I can't believe I'm saying this. This is not intended. There is some legs surrounding this. Now,
but
it could be completely wrong, but I'm just saying, I heard this leak because I've been perusing this and that, just kind of, because again, I like the leaks. I like the rumors. I like the speculation. We missed all of that during the Chibnall era. And so I have gone down many, many rabbit holes. And I found this, and I think that there is some plausibility. And all I'm saying is that if this is where we're going, peace out. At least of the new series. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That is very, very fair. But I will be intrigued to see how it's wrapped up. I will be intrigued to see how it's going to carry on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy that we've got our show back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you may be getting off at the next stop, Brett. But for me, these 2 episodes have just washed away the sour taste of the past 6 years.
I mean, I will say 1 out of 2 did that for me, but
hey, that's better than none out of 31.
Oh yeah. Well, what was it in our group chat when Robert said there's only 2 good episodes that ever came out of the whole Chibnall era, and I said Kerblam and Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, even though that's not the Chibnall era. And he said, definitely Kerblam. And did he ever answer the second one?
Yeah.
No, I don't
Timeless
think
Children.
he did.
Timeless Children. I went,
yeah,
what,
he
are you
said
serious?
Timeless Children, didn't he?
Mm.
We'll forgive him.
Yeah.
All
right. So we set this, me and Liam set this discussion off specifically waiting for you to get here. And so what are your thoughts regarding the Davros no longer in his life support device, which happens to be a wheelchair?
I think that saying people have that image of people in wheelchairs and people with disabilities being evil did happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think it happens now? To an extent, yes, I do. Do I think RTD should have changed Davros? No, I don't. But in a similar vein, I have no issue with seeing a younger Davros, who we know he hasn't always been in his wheelchair, his life support system. We know he was working on the travel modules before he was in a wheelchair. I very much... I can't take the episode seriously.
Yeah.
I do not see it in my own headcanon just because it's a children in need comic relief doodad.
Mm-hmm.
They're never really key and necessary viewing. It was a jokey little scene. If we don't see Davros again for a while, fine. If we see Davros in a wheelchair, good. I'm happy with that. If we see him out of his wheelchair, I'll probably be a bit miffed, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I had 6 years of being force-fed bits and bobs with no explanation from the man helming the show. At least RTD's gone, I've done it, yeah, okay, I know. Some people aren't going to like it. These are my reasons for it, though, and at least he's reasoned it out. And that I very much appreciate. Do I agree with it myself? No. But can I live with it? Yes.
Liam, what are your thoughts?
Like Legion, I see both sides to the argument. I feel that if people want to get over this quote-unquote thing of disabled people being evil or being portrayed as evil, then start to hire and encourage more disabled people to go into acting, to get acting roles in regular programs or movies or TV series, in mainstream roles, in big roles, so disability can be normalized. Until that starts to happen on a more regular basis, the so-called stigma is going to continue to persist. So again, like the whole thing I mentioned about the whole sort of colorblind casting and stuff and all that, I think we're our own worst enemy. I think we're at that point where one side isn't listening to the other side isn't listening to the other side either, and you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think that's the problem. Do I agree with Davros being changed? Again, no, I don't. Because the wheelchair / life support stuff didn't define him as a person. I'm just worried, though, that if they go down the route of changing Davros to his pre-accident form, what's he going to be? Is he just going to be a walky, shouty guy, with like less gravitas because he hasn't got the whole Dalek-y stuff, to get him a bit more, a bit more of a menace to
They'll
him.
put a ring modulator on him just for shits and giggles.
He'll just be walking around with a microphone that has a ring modulator on it.
Yeah, it'll just be Nick Briggs will be his skivvy behind him holding the ring modulator.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
He'll just get tapped on the shoulder. Right, you can talk now, Davros.
Well, and here's an interesting thing, and I'd like to bounce this off of you because there has been some actors who have not gotten villain roles because of their skin color, because Hollywood is trying to not allow those people to be considered villains anymore. So they're losing out on roles because they don't want to stereotype people of different skin color being, this. So again, here's the problem. And I feel as though like this whole Davros thing, one of the things that, RTD said is, I have a problem with this. And here's the thing. I almost want to put it back on him. I'm like, well, then if this is how you see it, you are a horrible person for you seeing people in wheelchairs as evil. I don't. You're putting a lot of onus on the audience to think that. Like, I don't know. Do people think that either of you are evil because you are, vision impaired? Like,
not evil.
No, but they do very much underestimate us.
Well,
but we are something to be feared, though.
Yes.
People do fear us.
Well,
people do fear disability. People do fear stuff they don't understand, and moreover, they don't want to understand. That's the problem.
So
That's
I mean,
the issue. So I get it.
The amount of times, I don't know if this happens to you, Liam, I assume it does. The amount of times I'm out in public and they're like, "Oh, who are you with?" I'm not. I'm going to work. Oh my God, you work? Yeah. I pay my bills. I do this, that, and the other. Oh, but what are you doing out on your own? Well, I'm going somewhere.
Where's your carer?
Where's your carer? Or where's your dog?
Yeah, trust me. Online dating is a complete minefield. The questions you get asked instantly are, if you're blind, how are you using a computer? And then when you get past that hurdle, it's, so do you live alone? Yeah. Oh my God, you live alone? Yeah. How do you cook? Have you got a carer to come and do that for you? No. And that's the attitude of 99.5% of people.
Yes.
And it is just frankly tiresome.
Harrowing.
Harrowing, tiresome, and just makes you want to give up, honestly.
Yeah. Well,
so I understand it, but
I'll be back in 2 ticks, chaps.
okay.
all right. But I wish RTD had perhaps consulted people with disabilities at least.
Yeah, and it sounds like he didn't. And the people that are in wheelchairs don't see this as an issue. And again, that's where we're having a sticky situation, is because people are not getting cast in villain roles because of this. And so now it's just like, okay, so who can you cast as villains? And I'm going to go down a comedic situation, but I think that there is some truth that you could look into it. So, okay, you can't be a villain if you're in a wheelchair. Okay, gotcha. So no to that. Okay, so Disney is not putting people as villains because of skin color. Okay, got that. Now we're going to get into people can't be villains if they're overweight. Okay, got that. Okay, now people can't be villains if they're old. Okay, got that.
My casting
okay,
gone.
now we can't go. We can't do this because of this. All right, so now what we have left is we have a Muppet that will be. Nope, people are furries. Never mind. Check. So now in shows going forward, we can't have villains ever. Everything in shows are perfect because somebody is going to be offended, and if we look too hard, we are going to find, some group. Somebody in that group will be offended because they are cast as villains. I feel as though we need to stop projecting and assuming things, and just let a good story be a good story. Find an actor who is a good villain, be a good villain. With the, Syl's character, fantastic villain, fantastic character, fantastic actor. Like, can he no longer be Syl now?
Who happens to be disabled?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, like I say, we're our own worst enemy at this point. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I don't really know what the way forward is, really, because whatever you do, you're gonna annoy someone.
It's gonna get to a point.
Or annoy a group.
It's gonna get to a point, like Brett says, where it's just gonna be, all your villains are gonna have to be CGI, generic-looking 2D people. But then that'll insult stickmen.
Yeah.
I identify as a stickman.
So do I. But you're very round. Fuck off.
All right.
So, yeah, it's a weird one.
Well,
it is.
Do we have anything else? You have been listening to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Doctor Who is owned and trademarked by the BBC. Doctor Who Alhambra is not affiliated with the BBC or Big Finish. No infringement is intended. Visit our website at alhambrapodcast.weebly.com or email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet us at Alhambra Podcast. That is ALHAMBRA Podcast. Thank you.